thing. But we went back and forth, and eBay froze my account.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
So I probably had $3,000 I had $3,000 in my PayPal account, and I couldn't get it to it. And people were buying my stuff, and I can't stop the auctions because the auctions are going. And every time they pay for something, it goes into my PayPal account that's frozen. So finally, I go, how am I going to prove this is a real frame? So I went back through my previous purchases, and I found the original auction that I bought it from. And in that auction, there was a picture of the serial number before I had it powder coated. And then I sent him that information, and he finally released it and released the complaint on eBay. And that's when I learned that eBay does not care about the seller at all.
Wow.
Welcome back, everybody, to the BMX Podcast with Danny, Kevin, and we got Marty Boster back on the show. Marty, appreciate you coming back on, bro.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So I had just out there. I've been bugging Danny for about a month now about trying to do an episode about appraising BMX bikes that are for sale on Craigslist and these different offer up like that. And Danny keeps resisting, saying, "Well, we got to make it better, bro. We got to come up with a better plan." So I think that Danny came up with something a little bit better for this episode about appraising bikes and that type of thing. Right, Danny?
Yeah, what I was doing when Kevin shot the idea at me the other night, I think it was Friday night. And it's kind of funny because Kevin, man, he doesn't like it. Yeah, it was Kevin goes, okay, here's what I want you to do, man. I want you to review bikes that are for sale, and let's talk about it. And I was listening, and I was thinking, okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? And Kevin goes, oh, you hate the idea. I go, wait, dude, I'm soaking it in. Give me a second, man. So what I did was I just put classic BMX parts, and I just Googled it to see what happens. And immediately eBay pops up. So I started going through it. I go, oh, wow, look at all this stuff that's actually for sale. And I thought that would be a great topic of conversation for us to kind of talk about, you know, what's out there, what's for sale, what people are asking for.
Right.
And from my perspective, I looked at it this morning, it's all over the map. Like some of the stuff is really not that expensive. And then some of it's kind of over the top too. And then that got me thinking about other topics for us in terms of us talking about Holy Grail bikes, collectible bikes. And then I did a little further research on, I looked at 3 different YouTube channels, Harvest BMX, Radmatic, and Antique Central, to try to get an idea of what they thought was considered kind of like epic, you know, and we can talk about that. And then on another note, dude, I got lucky today because Kev, after we got off the phone, I was like thinking, man, I really got to come up with some content. I got to do a video today or tomorrow, right? And I'm like, I think I'm out of magazines, and I go down to my family room, and there's a desk in the corner. And in that cabinet, there's magazines. And I go, I think I've looked at it. You know, and I'm digging through all these magazines. I'm finding People magazines, Men's Health, all this stuff, car magazines. I'm like, there's got to be more BMX. There was a stack about that big of BMX magazines that I have not reviewed. So
nice.
None of them have covers because these are the ones I didn't sell on eBay. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. So, dude, I'm stoked, man.
I have a pretty good stack of magazines that Ken Koster gave me when Skyway. Actually, let me rephrase that. Ken gave them to my buddy Donnie, and and there was a bunch of them. So I got a pretty good stack of a bunch of old magazines, and I brought them down to Dirty Fest, not this past year, but the year before. Yeah. And I gave a few away, but yeah, those are really good to go back if you're building bikes, if you're wanting to build a bike and you go back and you look at the ads and you think, oh, this is what was on there, and how to make them a little bit more error correct. It's funny, sometimes you'll look on eBay and you'll see somebody will have, they'll have a Skyway, but they'll have, a bunch of modern parts on it, and it's funny to see people that don't really know about the history of BMX trying to sell a Skyway for, $2,500, that really the only thing worth anything is the frame.
Yeah, because like my bike has got modern parts on it, because when I was built, it's a repop, so it's not like an 83 Skyway. So I'm like, I'm going to make a race bike out of this. So I put modern parts on it. And then, but I noticed that Planet BMX recently redropped the Skyways that were made in Australia, I think. And they got side pull brakes on them, KKT pedals on them, and color tough wheels. And they're selling those for like, I think, $1,300 right now. So if you want a complete Skyway, it's already done. There you go. It leaves a lot to be desired for me, because I like to pick my own parts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
that's how I am.
Yeah, so if I bought those, I'd be tearing it down and going, wait, I don't like those pedals, or I don't want color tough wheels, and I would have went to work on it. But this is just an example, guys, of some of the stuff I found today. I mean, look at that.
Who's that?
How amazing is that?
There's Perry.
Yeah. Did you guys know this on Race Incorporated?
Who's that? I know that.
Perry Kramer.
Oh, yeah. Those guys all rode for, back in the early day, they would ride for different.
Rode FMF.
Yeah, I never did too.
This is Gary Nishimura in the race shots on one page, and then there was and it says here, Perry Kramer was named team manager and joined the team during 1983.
Huh.
So that's crazy that he went on from SE to Race Incorporated. Hey, do you say Race Inc. or Race Incorporated? That's always
I'd say Race Inc.
Yeah.
Bro.
I remember you guys talking about that in one of the past episodes. I forget, was that when you had Rick on there?
We're trying to figure out, what do you call it? Was it Rick, or was it
It was a while back, man. It was
a little while ago.
We
always called it Race Inc.
Jason Chang.
Yeah, it was Jason Chang.
Oh, Jason Chang, that's right. It was Jason.
Yeah. And I told him, I go, man, I don't know. When I was a kid, I think we all said Race Incorporated. I just started hearing Race Inc. more recently, as now it's on the big bike trend.
Danny, now that you mention that, I do remember it. I do remember a lot of people saying Race Incorporated, and then I think as it became more solidified, I guess, or more of versus instead of FMF, it's Race Incorporated. They just started calling it Race Inc.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, Marty? What you got some Boomtown topics for us today?
Yeah, tell us about what happened. We heard that you brought out your whole collection and you let everybody ride your bikes. That was very magnanimous of you. It
was a lot of fun. We had there wasn't a lot of motos. Boomtown is a great track, and it's kind of it's. I've been racing here. I moved here to Reading in 1988. Summer of '88. Came from Roseville. Roseville was my original home track, Oak Creek, when Bruce and Linda ran it. I moved to Reading, which I wanted to talk about this on our first podcast, and we went so long that I'm like, shit, I didn't even get to anything about Boomtown. And so when I moved here in Reading in '88, Boomtown had been established for a couple of years. I think it was 86, late '85, early '86, since the 40 years now. But really cool track. It was just it was lined with tires, and we had a out of the gate step up roller, and it looped around. At one point, they were going to build a bridge, but that got shut down by the city of Shasta Lake out there. But at any rate, it's Boomtown's always been a good. It's always been running. It's one of the longest running tracks, I think. But it was back in the day. It was Cal 8. I think it's still Cal 18. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Cal 12 now, but it was Cal 18. And there was just never a big rider count. People weren't coming from Southern Oregon, and they weren't coming from Sacramento, unless they, I think that once or twice they might have had a state race or something, or a Gold Cup or a Gold Cup qualifier. I think like '87 they might have had something before I moved here, and then but over the years, it was in the mid to late '90s, Cecil Johns moved up here, and he'd come out here and ride a little bit, and Greg Romero would come up and visit them, and they'd come out to the track. Sean Texas has been there. Chris Moeller has been there. We've had a pretty good
So it's a currently running modern.
It's running. It's a nonprofit. It's the lady Margaret Polf. They own the property out there, and they donated it. It's right below Shasta Dam, and they donated the property. And there's a big there's baseball field. There's soccer. There's a big huge. They'll have car shows in the. Sometimes in the summer they'll do like a Cool April Nights car show, which is a big. It's like a hot August nights in Reno. We have one called Cool April Nights in Redding, and so they have car shows the whole weekend. But the track has been there forever, and I believe that it was donated under the condition that would never be anything but a park, and so Boomtown's been there. And it's all ran volunteered. We've had a few shady people run it. We've had some really good people run it. And right now, Johnny Shaw's running it, him and his wife. They're doing a fantastic job. Johnny and Brenda are doing a good job. There was a time where the Pucketts ran it. They did a good job. Gosh.
What's the moto counts looking like out there? Is it
6, maybe 5 or 6 motos a night? And we run. They run Wednesday night, Friday night, and Sunday. We do 3 days a week. But there's just it's really a good.
Is it too rural? Is that the problem? You think?
Pretty much. Yeah. So when we were having the 40th anniversary race later that night, Rick went on and did a podcast from our starting right at the starting gate in the starting tower, and we were talking, and I told him, I said, we got to do something to get a big race, not necessarily a big race, but like just something to attract some pros. And I'm like, dude, I go we'll put something together, dude. I'll put up $1,000 for first place. No splitting it. And let's get some people up here to sign up and get, and I'm like, shit. I mean, it's like, we got to just something to get the track
to get people involved,
more noticed. Yeah. We'll have, like I said, we'll have a Gold Cup or a Gold Cup qualifier sometimes, or a state race. I think we have one this year. I think we actually get a Gold Cup qualifier maybe. But we'll have sometimes the guys from Sacramento will come up. Sean O'Gorman, those guys, Tangent will come up and do do their pro-am. And a lot of people like the track. It's just it's a bit of a drive, and the facility is great when you get in, but the parking lot's kind of down a hill. So unless you're local, I usually when I come, I just pull right in and park right next to the track, but there's nobody there, hardly ever there. But when there's a big race, it's like you got to hike in from the parking lot, probably 60, 70 yards, and pack all your stuff in. And
is this south of the bridge or north of the bridge?
It's Bridge Bay, over Shasta Lake. Yeah, we're just south of it. It's literally. Okay. If you take this exit I-5 north to Shasta Dam Boulevard, which takes you to the Shasta Lake, or it takes you to the Boomtown. If you go north, it's like it's 2 exits, 3 exits up, and is Shasta Lake, Bridge Bay. But
I drive through there all the time, dude. I can't stand it, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do the. We were joking around, Marty, last week, and we were like, hey, we're gonna do we want to have a race with all the BMX podcasters and BMX YouTubers.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. We should do it at Boomtown, Kevin. That's kind of the middle of the ground, right? Middle ground, maybe. Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, Marty will throw up $1,000, right, Marty?
Yeah, something. If you ever need a place to stay, you're rolling through and you're tired, just let me know, man. I'm not too far from the freeway. Redding's a cool little town because it doesn't take long to get across town. 20 minutes tops, from top to bottom, or,
So what was the race that you were at? You took all your bikes out there. So that wasn't a $1,000 race. That was something else, right?
No. This was So I was proposing something I wanted to get a good pro race. I wanted to draw some names up there to come race. And I thought, man, Pistol Pete lives 2.5 hours north of me up in Medford. And I've talked to him a few times. He was going to come down, but he had an event the next day up in Eugene that him and Andy Patterson were going to. And I'm like, oh man. So He ended up not being able to come to that, but we, you put up $1,000 and you'd be surprised who'd show up for $1,000,
Absolutely.
But so I went and got, before my thing was kind of a mess, but I bought these racks from one of the bike shops that went out of business, and I got my bikes all set up in my garage. But I took, let's see, I took 12, I think 12 or 14 bikes out. And what we did was I said, any kids between the ages of 10 and 15, I think we said 12 to 15 years old, because that was about the size that could fit on, and I could adjust them. And I took, you know what, I'm going to walk. Can I walk over here with it? Maybe, let me know if I'm doing all right with this. So I didn't take the RS. I brought out my Super Goose. Can you see these all right?
Yeah.
I brought out, this is an 83 Super Goose. This is a 79 Super Goose. This is an 80 Team Mongoose, which is probably my favorite bike out of the collection. This one's an 80 and 80. This is a 79. This is an 80 Roger DeCoster. Can you see that all right?
Yeah.
Look at the handlebars on that thing, dude.
Yeah, they're a chip, aren't they? I'm not even sure what they are. I brought out my 2 Diamondback Silver Streaks. Those are both 82s, I believe. This is my buddy Brooks. He's where am I at? He's got here's a race ink that is, I'm not sure what year this is, but this is my buddy Brooks. I brought my Rev Core out. I brought this Challenger out. This is my repopped Holmes. I love this bike. I brought out this Holmes here, and then that was it. And then these are my other bikes. This is my bike. This is 97, my dirt jumper, 97 next generation Holmes. It might be a 98. And then this is my 38 Special that I raced back in the late or early 2000s. And then my, is this the Speedwagon? Yeah, it's my S&M Speedwagon. And then this is my new race bike.
That's your actual bike that you're racing right now?
Yes, yeah. Which I haven't raced since June. My shoulder's been giving me a bunch of grief.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to let it heal, and I'm just, it's a chronic shoulder pain. I'm just going to deal with it because I'm going to race a little bit more next year. But at any rate, I brought out enough bikes to where we actually there was kids between 10 to 15 or 16 years old. And there was some of the older kids we put on a gate. I think we had 6 riders in one gate and had 6 or 7 in the other. And I said, hey, here's what we're doing. We're running, each one of you get one gate. Taking 4 out of this gate, 4 out of this gate, and then we're running the main, just for the fun of it. So I, fitted the kid, adjusted the kids. There were a few young ladies that were racing.
How did the bike
combine them, and we had a full gate. We had a full gate and of 8 riders on vintage bikes. And the kid that won, I think it was a 96 or 97 GT Interceptor that I had bought I think I paid like $250. I bought it on eBay a long time ago, probably like 6 or 7, 8 years ago. Yeah. And I dug out some of my old trophies from Boomtown that I won, a first, second, and third, and gave those to the kids that were we're talking 35-year-old trophies. And then the kid that won, I gave him that GT Interceptor.
Nice.
Did they know they were racing for that bike before the race?
Not until they were on the gate. Yeah, and then I reeled it over to Rick. I said, Rick, this is what the winner's going to get. And so he made a big announcement over. That guy's so awesome. He's the best track announcer. I swear to God. I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So how did the bikes hold up? Was there any mechanical issues?
There was no problems. One bike, that Race Inc. that was my buddy's, he's got those frame savers on it, so it's kind of hard to keep the chain tight. And I pulled the little kid that was riding it. He kept, can I ride it? Can I ride it? He was riding out all over the place. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I just cranked it down as tight as I could get it, and it held up. The chain didn't fall off. But sometimes those frame savers, I don't think they, they don't hold as good as the nut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the only issue. We had that, and then on my red Team Mongoose, the seat, the one girl did loop out, or she kind of looped out, and the seat twisted, and that was it. I dialed them all in before, and brought out my tools and made sure that they fit the kids. But it was a lot of fun, man. It really was cool.
Now, were all these kids like brand new racers? Or
No, they were all racing. They were fast. Some of them were fast. If you go, I guess you would have to go on maybe the Boomtown BMX Facebook page, and they have them. There was a lot of recording. They would video record the races, and everybody's got clips. So that's about the best place to go see if you were interested in seeing any of that kind of stuff, because it is on Facebook on the. Like I said, the Boomtown BMX Facebook.
Interesting about that, Marty, because I just reviewed. I forgot the guy's name, man. I was going to look it up, but I just reviewed his video and I added it to my recent race review video. Oh, his name is Josh Weatherspoon, and they had a vintage BMX race during a regular race. Yeah, similar to what you're saying. Is just one and done, full gate of riders. And man, I gotta say, there was this guy on this Patterson, 83 Patterson, I think it was, and had an orange tough wheel in the front.
Yeah.
He was riding so well, dude. He could have been on a modern race bike, and I would not been able to tell the difference.
A lot of those kids like because they're kind of sitting up on as opposed to being really low and tight. If they're a little bit more comfortable, especially for us old guys. But and those bikes, I don't want this to sound arrogant, but I build a pretty good bike. I think I adjust the bike well, and a lot of people when they ride bikes when I build them are like, and BMX for the most part, I can't build a mountain bike to save my life, but I set up a bike pretty decent, and I get a lot of compliments by how I set them up and where I put the bars, and it doesn't take too much, but it's just a matter of I didn't have to do too much adjusting other than lower a seat. All the bars and everything was put in place, and then. And then parts that I put on them, like this my Mad Dog here, that bike right there. I'm a slam bars. SM slam bars have been my favorite forever.
Mm-hmm.
These are still S&M bars, but they're called sand bars, SAND. I had them powdered. This is my favorite bar. It's got a 12-degree back sweep. It's a 9-inch rise. It feels like old GT Pro bars. They got a nice, bend. They're not so straight across, but so now these are my new favorite bars. And I talked to a few people
on that. 20?
Huh?
What? How wide are they?
28. I don't know, tape measure.
I bet you that's 28 across, like a pro size bar. You think, Kev?
Yeah, they look
good.
I'll
tell you right now.
They look good.
29 and a quarter.
Wow. Put some elbows on somebody.
29 and a quarter.
But they do. You're right. They do look like GT Pro bars, dude.
Yeah, they're what they are is they're shoulder friendly, man. When I ride my bike, it's I don't feel like I'm battling too low of a bar. Before in the 90s we'd ride, with inverted stem with an 8-inch rise. Everything was down low and kind of like everybody was trying to mimic LaJuan Cunningham.
Yeah.
The seat all low and pitched up, and the bars, and everyone was cutting their bars super narrow and running their hands over their grips. Like Kenny May used to put his hands on the flanges, on the top of the flanges.
I saw a lot of French riders
down into the bars.
Yeah, on like this. A lot of the early French invasion guys were like this riding, and I go, damn, that just doesn't look comfortable. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the flanges. I like putting my hand on the flanges of a grip. I don't really like flangeless grips except for on my mountain bike. I guess there's not really anything you can do about that. But on my BMX bike, I like just a regular pair.
For freestyle, dude. It's for bar spins and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That's why they have flangeless. Danny, what size bars do you like?
The ones I got most recently, I don't know if I'm going to be able to turn this without knocking it over. Those are S&M bars right there. Those, I believe, are an 8-inch rise on those. And so they feel great, but like I said, I haven't really ridden that bike. And then the Skyway has SE handlebars on it, and they're pretty tall. You can see that.
Oh, yeah.
What the measurement is on those. And I didn't even realize how tall they were when I bought them. I bought the bars and I put them on the bike, and I didn't really think much of it. And then after the bike was done, I go, damn, those bars look tall and wide. And then I realized they are pretty tall. My Haro's got 8-inch. I mean, these are Haro handlebars on my GHP. These are also like 8-inch rise. These are pretty low. But I think I agree with you though, Marty, with the modern stuff that you ride. It tends to hurt my lower back a little bit more. Yeah. You know, because I'm kind of hunching over more than I would normally. Right. Yeah. But because I don't have a 16-year-old back anymore.
You know? No, we don't.
My bars are perfect 10s.
Oh yeah, and the perfect 10s are even better if you're
huge, man, and they're still big enough.
Yeah. Well, then I also even have, not only do I have the tall one, but look how tall my stem is. I got a regular pro neck, just a standard. It's a repop, but so I'm pretty tall with my bars set up on my bike.
You need that Stanley Robinson tough neck, dude.
I still want to see that on a bike, Kevin.
Have you seen that episode from Marty?
I have not.
Stanley Robinson had I think a 17-inch tough neck, right?
It's the most
ridiculous.
I don't understand how that's functional. I mean, literally, man, it was like that long. And me and Kevin, what is that?
Long, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude.
Anyway, is that the one that that Camel Joe guy, Josh? I forget his last name. He machines a bunch of those parts. He'll usually be at those vintage races with the Camel Joe.
I haven't seen it.
Jacket, and he's got I forget his name. Damn it.
Yeah.
Josh Spencer. I can't remember. I don't know.
This weekend, I was gonna see if you guys heard anything. There was a 40 and over open for cash at Roseville at Oak Creek. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I just watched it on. I just watched a clip of it. That was pretty cool, actually. I would have liked to go down and race that.
Do you know what the results were on that at all, Marty? I tried to look it up.
They have it posted. Somebody has it posted, but I'm not sure. Without really being able to mess with my phone, because I'm using my phone for the podcast. Otherwise, I can't really interrupt it.
And I apologize, Kevin, for not looking that up, because I wanted to have that for tonight. But I do see there's a shot of the riders on the gate. Looks like it was Kevin Huffman, Brandon Meadows, James Starks, Jimmy Nelson, Andrew Andre, Tarek Asagi, Rick Lowry, and Luke Udi. I don't know all these guys.
But that wasn't Brian. I think Brian Hood was in the main. They might have had to do some qualifying to a main, because I think I saw the main. I'm trying to see if it'll come up.
Yeah, that's just one shot. That's just some guys in the gate. I don't know how many riders.
Brian Hood's the only one I know out of that group that I remember hearing his name when they were announcing, because I raced him at Elkhorn in June.
Oh, there's a clip of it right here. Oh no, that's the 2023 race. I went to that one. Yeah, so I don't know. It looked like they had quite a few riders out there.
Yeah, Roseville puts on a good they got a good program.
Every time we talk Northern California racing, everybody talks Roseville. Apparently, Roseville must be the place to be, right, Danny?
Yeah. It's an awesome track. I've raced it a few times. Yeah, it's all dirt. There's no. I think the starting hill now is paved. It looks like it is.
Yeah.
But the berms are dirt.
They topped it. They put some kind of a coating on it for the rain, because so Soil Tech or something like that. But I haven't I haven't raced that track. The last time I raced Roseville was 2013, and it was a state race, and I was racing Friday night, and I was being a dumbass. I was actually in front. It was the mains, and I was winning my main Friday night, and I went to 360 the double, and I came up short and woke up in an ambulance.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
I was just, it was stupid. It was just, because I would do that when I would race. I'd 360 the doubles just for the fun of it. Especially Roseville, they had those 30-foot doubles way back that used to be along the fence. Those were a fun set to 360, but I was just being an idiot, showing off.
I would have pumped those doubles, Kevin.
So,
That was well, I got some show topics for us tonight, guys. You want to go over them?
What do you got?
So I was wanted to talk a little bit about Holy Grail bikes before we get into the eBay stuff. You want to do that?
Sure.
All right. So I made a list of bikes here, guys, and I made a list of 10 that I thought are kind of Holy Grail bikes, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. You can add to it, maybe tell them how you rank them, whatever you want to do. But here's what I listed.
First off, Danny,
yeah.
What do you consider? Let's define what a Holy Grail bike is. A Holy Grail bike to you the most valuable, or the one that you really want the most? Because it's two different bikes, right?
Yeah, I think a Holy Grail bike would be something that everybody would want to get their hands on, right? Like, I have to have that. Maybe Holy Grail is the wrong term, but when I was looking up stuff on YouTube, it said Holy Grail, and I go, oh, okay, that's a good topic. Yeah. All right, so I put the SE quad angle as number 1 for myself. I listed number 2 as the PK Ripper. I put Mongoose first generation. I don't care if it's first generation or not. I guess I would care. Mongoose first generation, I put as 3rd. Redline, I put as 4th. I put Raleigh in there as 5th because of Toby Henderson and some of the history of that, and I put a GT as 6th, which I'm starting to rethink. I put Diamondback there on a 7th, JMC 8, Skyway, and then Hutch. So that was my top 10 on bikes, and I guess there's going to be preferences for models and things like that, but that's how I listed it. Off the top of your head, Kevin, can you give me like your top 10?
Dude, you're the only person in this world that would rank a Raleigh as a Holy Grail, dude.
Well, if I had a Raleigh Rampart that was a duplicate of what Toby Henderson had in BMX Plus in the centerfold, I would really want that with the graphite tough wheels, like the one we saw at Dirty Fest.
That one was beautiful.
Imagining I had my own warehouse, kind of like Marty does, with all my top 10 bikes. I definitely would want a Raleigh Rampart in there.
Okay, look, do you mind if I comment on your list real quick before I give you my list?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I quantify a Holy Grail as being hard to find, or elusive, or cannot find at all.
Hard to find.
I look at your list, and every one of those bikes can be found, built, and still exist in the wild today.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, I agree with you on that, actually.
So you could have that Raleigh for, not a ton of money. You could have that Raleigh rebuilt and done for yourself if you wanted it. I'd say our Holy Grail is something like Gary Littlejohn Mini Tandem, or a Nomura, or these types of bikes. These small run bikes in the 70s. These like the first GT monoshock.
So what would be your number 1 Holy Grail bike then?
Well, it's not what everybody else would think. My Holy Grail bike would be a Gary Littlejohn Tandem Mini, and my number 2 would be a Gary Littlejohn Tandem 20. And then it would be 3 would be like a Nomura. 4 would be my JMC Andy Patterson number 215. And it just goes down from there. But I like the stuff that you can't find, that you can't reproduce. Yeah, that's gone. That's extinct.
So this Gary Littlejohn thing, I know the name, but you're saying tandem. What's the deal with that?
2 people.
Yeah, it was a double. There was a 2-seater.
It's actually a tandem bicycle.
Yeah.
He made like 20 mini 16s pit bike. So he made 16, 20. He made like 20 pit bike tandems, and he made a couple hundred, I believe, of the 20-inch tandems.
That's kind of a unique collectible item. I mean, it's not something that would be rideable or anything like that, right? That's just something you're just
race them.
Yeah.
Right. So with the standard race bikes, though, would you have it?
Nomura aluminum, not the Nomura. Well, I guess there was more Nomura aluminums made than there was the chromoly, right, Marty? Are you familiar with that?
Say that one more time.
Have you ever seen the Nomura chromoly bike?
I've not seen the chromoly. I've seen one in real life. Eric Dyer has one at his shop in Citrus Heights. And then, but I think, and I do this a lot. I'm about 80% sure that Gork's brother Scott has a tandem at Patriot Bike Shop in Fair Oaks. I think.
A tandem Gary Littlejohn.
I think so. I think I remember seeing something there. I was there about a year ago, and he's got a bunch of old bikes. Eric Dyer at Elite Bikes in Citrus Heights has a bunch of old bikes. And I know he's got a Nomura and a handful of Mongoose bikes and stuff like that.
Is the tandem red by any chance?
I thought maybe it was silver.
Okay.
Or maybe like the color of the Nomura. Is it aluminum? Would it be aluminum? It wouldn't have been aluminum.
Oh, you're talking about a Nomura tandem.
No. I'm talking about the Gary Littlejohn.
The Gary Littlejohn. Okay, so off on a side note, Main Bikes, the shop that I rode for, the owner had a tandem Gary Littlejohn BMX bike. It was like 20-inch. And we would walk by this bike for 5 years and look at it like it was like Pee Wee Herman walking in the and then they look at it and go, who wants that thing?
Yeah.
And we walk and no one wanted. So when the shop closed, we don't know what happened to that. At least I don't know what happened to the bike. I tried to track it down, and then on Facebook, someone messaged me saying, "I know where that bike is. That bike was sold to a bike shop in Northern California." And that's why I was asking if.
Wow.
Maybe it is. I mean, you could check if there's anybody that would have been able to get their hands on it. It would have been, Scott or Gork.
It was a red. It was like a burgundy.
Maybe it's red. I can't remember, but I just for some reason I think I saw a tandem BMX bike at Patriot Bike Shop.
If anybody out there knows of a tandem Gary Littlejohn, it was burgundy red with gold parts, gold Sun Tour stems, gold bars, and it was all faded out. So it was sitting in the front window for a long time, 10 years, and it all got faded out by the sun. So if anybody ever know what happened to that bike, I'd love to find out what happened to it.
Probably in somebody's basement or an attic somewhere.
So what was the original question? I forget.
Well, going back, so I just named top 10 let's say collectible bikes. Let's reword it then. So those are like my top 10 collectibles. I mean, Marty, you all have a ton of bikes already. So, I mean, where would you land on that?
Let me finish. So it's Nomura, Cook Brothers.
You've only listed 3 bikes, dude. You gave me Gary Littlejohn, JMC, and Nomura, and then you just went on a tangent on those 3. So I don't know what your other ones are.
Well, so it'd be JMC, Andy Patterson, or Daryl Young. I draw the line at Daryl Young's. Cook Brothers. What else? Slingshot. I like the Slingshot.
You're up to 5 bikes now.
I didn't know that I had to have 10, so let me think about it. Go to Marty.
Okay, what do you think, Marty?
So are we going my personal favorite? Or
let's say you have an unlimited amount of money and you can buy 10 bikes. So,
I think that my personal favorite is probably one of the rarest. It's a late 80s bike, and it would be an 88 Cooks inspired S&M Mad Dog.
S&M Mad Dog.
Yeah.
All right.
That to me, I had that frame. That's my absolute, that would be the holy grail for me. And they're few and far between.
That's a good one, man. That's a unique one. So because so if you're is there anything else you would add to your 10?
Oh yeah.
What do you got?
I would go with an 86 CW ProMotion.
Okay.
I would go with an 82. I think it's an 82. Maybe it's either an 82 or an 83 Mongoose Pro Class with the smoked
Chrome.
powder coat.
Yeah, that's a cool bike.
Yeah, I like that one. I have an 83 Super Goose 3 that I really like, but those Pro Class, those broke, so they were so hard to get. There's always that Turbo Harry Larry. I think they're the most overrated, but they are a beautiful bike. So I wouldn't mind having one, but I wouldn't pay $5,000 or $6,000 for one of those bikes.
There's a lot on what I was researching today. A lot of people name that bike off.
Yeah,
As a collectible, yeah.
It was a beautiful bike, but it really was functionality. It was a pile of shit. The cranks broke, the forks cracked. They just were not. You could for the money you could go buy a Silver Streak and do the same thing Harry could do on on that turbo.
On the last time you were on, I clipped that out when you said that about the.
I felt and you can clip that out too, because I think it's a beautiful bike.
I published it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Dude, people were losing their minds, dude. It had like, I don't know, 30,000 views. And,
well, this is a very subjective topic, like we said earlier, and then so we're talking personal favorites and Holy Grail. I also like a white Skyway TA extra long.
Nice.
Which I don't have. I have 3 Skyways. I have one right here behind me that I was building for Thomas Ingram to race at Frogtown, but then it got canceled. So I was like, okay, well, I didn't really have to finish building that one. So what did I do? I got the Mad Dog, the ProMotion. The ProMotion is the CW ProMotion is basically that's what turned into RevCore. That model of that frame is what became RevCore.
So would you want both? So you want the CW version and the RevCore version?
Yeah, I have a RevCore. I love my RevCore. The RevCore is a beautiful bike. The RevCore is that's one of my favorite bikes of all time. I have an 87 XXL RevCore that I could go race. I could go race that right now at a modern race. That's how comfortable I love that bike. I raced it I won in Frogtown a couple years ago on that bike, and then let's see, I didn't do so good at Dirty Fest on my Rev. No, I did. I got third on my RevCore. We crashed and ended up getting third the first Dirty Fest.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do good on my Super Goose. I got beat by oh gosh, I can't think of his name. God dang it. My brain's like noodles right now.
I like your list though so far.
Who was the Robinson rider that always wore the glasses, the goggles? God, what is it?
A Robinson rider that was wearing goggles?
He would always Bill Woods, Bobby Woods. That's who. Yeah. Bobby Woods smoked my ass. He's fast. So that was on the I think we're in the same class, but at any rate, I don't know why I couldn't think of Bobby's name. So that puts us at, how many bikes is that for me, Danny?
You listed the 88 S&M Mad Dog. You got the 86 CW ProMotion, 82 Mongoose Pro Class, Turbo Harry Larry, of course.
We'll throw a
White
turbo in.
TA, and then the RevCore. So you're up to 6 bikes already.
There's 6.
Yeah.
I would say a 1990 S&M Holmes,
Nice.
which I have a replica of that one. Let me think of something that
I know what the ultimate.
You want to add one, Kevin? What do you got?
Well, I want to add 2. I want to add a JU6 SC.
That was before the PK Ripper, right?
Yeah, and I want to add. Then you can add an oval top tube PK Ripper. So I think that's a 78 maybe. And the Holy Grail is the STR1 original.
Wow, man, you've got all the way up to 8, and you came up with some great bikes, dude.
STR1, the original. There was only like 4 of them ever made, or something like that.
So you don't want like a repop one, then you want the original.
The original.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the original came out? That brown one, Marty, when it hit the market. Do you remember that?
I don't, because that was late 70s.
No. But it came on. It was found. Somebody had it in their garage or something. And it was on eBay. It was all over Facebook. It was puke brown. It wasn't tough guy tan. It was brown, and it was a original STR1, and I think it went on eBay for 50 grand, dude.
I think we talked about that. It rings a bell, but I don't remember all the details.
And I heard someone bought it. A very, 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 very well-known collector bought it, but I don't know for a fact.
Wow, 50
but
grand.
I heard it did not sell for 50 grand though. Less. It's over less. But it was on eBay for, I believe it was 50 grand, maybe more.
That's insane, man. You got 2 more bikes left, Kevin, and Marty. You still can come up with 3.
So one that I have that I won in a raffle, which is awesome, 82 Profile Champ.
Okay.
And then another bike that I never had, but I like, it's kind of came back, and I think it was probably, I saw this bike, the first time I ever saw one was, I think, 1986, but a thruster. And I haven't seen one in a while, but I know that they've come back. But I think those old thrusters might be pretty sought after.
The Vanity Point or the regular one?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know much about them.
The 3-bar. You want a 3-bar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely has to have the bar. That's what, because when I was thinking of my profile, I was thinking, oh, the thruster too was you know.
I know a guy that has like 10 of them.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard a guy on YouTube the other day, and I forgot what the YouTuber channel is, but he said when racing was starting to kind of take a tail, kind of go down a little bit, freestyle was on the rise. He said, I went to all the bike shops I could find and just scooped up all the bike parts I could buy.
You know, and that's another thing. We're just mentioning race bikes. We didn't even tap into the freestyle bikes.
Yeah, I got more on that too.
That's a whole
man.
other topic, huh?
Yeah, it's a way, and I'm familiar with freestyle because I didn't really get into it.
Yeah,
I certainly recognize stuff. I know what it is, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. So it's hard for me to know what has value and what doesn't.
Yeah, and then I think I have one more that is pretty rare that I would like to have. And I think Matt Heaps might have one, but Judge, Hutch.
Yeah, that's Judge. Okay. Yeah. So that's 10. What do you think, Kev? You got 2 more you can pick up, man. You got a killer collection here.
A square bar champion from the 70s.
Huh?
The hell is that?
Wait, is it R&R, Marty? Is it a...
An R&R was kind of a weird low...
No. We
double bar.
The champion, the square bar. I think it was a square bar champion. And then maybe a Dan Gurney Eagle suspension.
Is that the last one?
Yeah.
What's it called again, Kev?
A Dan Gurney Eagle suspension. I saw one at the Dirty Fest bike show. I did a whole video on it. Oh
man, these are all bikes we're gonna have to look up. That's why I'm like, what?
Kevin was a little. So, and I'm not trying to date here how old you are, but like you're more. So obviously you were more late 70s versus into the early 80s type of bikes, because you named a lot of old stuff, right?
Yeah, well, that's where my heart is, dude.
And that's exactly, and that's kind of where that's what makes this so subjective. Yeah.
I'm only 58.
Okay, well that's
I'm 58. Are you a little younger than me, Marty?
I'm 54.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was literally riding when I was 6 years old. I was jumping trash cans.
Yeah.
So I mean, I looked at I looked at my neighbor. I got my bike late. I didn't get a good bike until 79 when I got my Jag. But my neighbor had a Dan Gurney Eagle, not suspension, but a Dan Gurney Eagle. And we looked at this guy, and this guy couldn't ride with a shit. But we were like, "Oh my god, this guy's bike is so incredible!" And for the next 10 years, I thought DG stood for Dan Gurney. Someone told me no, it doesn't stand for Dan Gurney, dude.
Yeah.
What does it stand for, man? I don't even know.
It's the last names of the owners. I can't remember what the owners' names are.
I can't remember either. I need to call my friend Tom Yaley. He knows all that shit.
Yeah, we're gonna have to answer that. I need to know that.
Yeah.
I can't think of it either. I didn't really care for DG. When I was a kid, like I said, we grew up in BMX was kind of introduced to me more in the early 80s, 81, 82. So it was Mongoose. Citrus Heights Cyclery was right down, and they had, it was all chock full of Mongoose, and there was a GT. That's what we bought our Diamondback Silver Streak. Was my older brother's first bike. They were $260, $269 for complete bike, and that's what we got in 1982.
Which was actually a pretty good buy for the money. Yeah, definitely. I got the next topic for you guys. Now, this one might be a little harder, but I wrote parts that are most difficult to locate. Now, I'm going to list the part, and then you guys tell me the part that you feel is most rare. So, for example, I'm going to say handlebars. And so both of you are going to tell me what are the most rare handlebars you'd like to get your hands on, or you think in general are the most rare.
Okay.
So what do you think, Kev?
JMC or Cook Brothers.
So what do you think the cost of something like that, if you were to find one that was in pristine condition, I mean, what do you think that's going to run? Your opinion.
2,000?
For bars, dude? For real?
Yeah. Are you talking those Cooks Brothers that had with the crossbar notched down? Yeah. Good luck. Those, yeah.
Damn. Did it bend down?
The JMC bars might be worth a little bit more, but if you could find a pair, well, I think we talked about this before. I had a pair of Daryl Young bars. I sold them for $700 and they were crimped. And this is like 5 years ago. I would guess that a pair of NOS bars, 2,000 at least, man.
New old stock.
Yeah.
I remember.
At least 2,000, probably more.
All right, so either JMC or Cook Brothers would be kind of like the bars to get, or hardest to find.
I think so.
Yeah. What do you think, Marty?
I think one of the harder bars to get a hold of are Galendo bars.
Oh wow, Galendo's okay. It seems to me like there's a lot of like knockoff versions of that. Well,
Answer came out with some in the 90s, but I remember the Galendo thing, and I think around 85 or 86 was big. James Vicente would know. He loves those. That would be the guy to ask. But I think those are pretty rare, and so I wouldn't mind having a pair for a collection. I don't know that I'd put them on anything.
Is it difficult to find original CW bars? Because there was thousands of them. Now I don't ever see them.
I don't know. I never liked those handlebars at all. To me, they were strange. They were just kind of goofy and weird. I always liked GT. I like GT Pro bars from a kid, growing up until there was actually maybe 1990. It was around 1990. There was, I forget, not them Elf Blast bars, but Elf made a good bar. I think it was a Pro bar. And then Kasten had a pretty cool handlebar, but then they also had kind of a lame bar that bent down, kind of like, the old Powerlite bars. I never liked Powerlite bars either, but I guess those, you find some old chromoly Powerlite bars with the power bend, and those are probably worth a few bucks.
Yeah, I've talked about that before, where I would go out and buy P40s and P51s in the wild, and they would be all trashed out. But if they had pro size power bend bars on them, the bars alone went for $250.
We talked about that before. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I bought these handlebars, which I love. I'm gonna come over here. These are some Redline Stew bars. I
see them.
These are a cool handlebar, and I just ride them. I guess the V bars are supposed to be worth more, but these are a pretty cool handlebar. I
wonder where that. What is that? Is that from a Huffy?
No, it's a Redline.
Oh, that is a Redline bar.
Yeah, they're Redline bars.
I'll be damned.
Am I getting the?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're Redline.
Oh, it is Redline. Look at that. Yeah. It's even stamped.
Yeah, I think I paid $250 for those handlebars.
Damn.
I'll have to go back and check. There was a point where I had a couple good years way back when, and I was just like, and I was trying to buy this stuff because I didn't know that it was going to go, prices were going to go as high as they are now. Now it's just ridiculous. But, there's a few things I probably overpaid for, but, it's not like I couldn't make my house payment or anything. It's just, now I got a collection of bikes that, I don't even know that I'd ever get any of my money out of these, but I don't want them. I want the bikes. I like taking them out. That's why somebody was like, man, I wouldn't let anybody ride these. I'm like, why not? They're freaking bikes. Let these kids ride them. I don't, this isn't going to break.
Yeah, they're not made of glass.
Exactly. So it's like, let them have fun with it. So at any rate, yeah.
What about stems? What do you think is hard to get hold of, man? What do you think?
I know probably the rarest, hardest stem to get. And if you find one in mint condition, you might as well dip it in gold.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
And I know Kevin knows exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee it.
Cook Brothers?
Oh, I was gonna say ESP.
Oh, yeah, ESP.
Oh, people love that stem.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that it's come up a few times in some of the shows. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, Ken Lowry loves the ESP.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But to me, dude, the Cook Brothers slanted double clamp stem from like the 70s is just it's a uni stem, right? So I think it's a headlock stem all wrapped up into one, dude, and it's absolutely beautiful and it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Either that or the red line double clamp stem that says red line on the top of the clamps. Those are my two stems.
Is there any other ones you guys want to throw in there? Or
I always liked the Boss coffin stem. I had a Boss coffin stem on one of my old race bikes that I liked that one, the extra long. I don't know how rare they are really. I mean, I think Boss fetches a few bucks.
Yeah.
But that was another bike. Shit, we didn't even name Boss. Boss is a great bike.
Oh man, Boss is an excellent bike. Yeah.
Hey, Mossy did a Boss video. Did you know that, Danny?
Yeah, I told you. I said he just
told me.
He just watched one on Boss, but he didn't. I felt like that wasn't Mossy's best video. It was short, and he just kind of ran through it, and a lot of the photos were not era correct. So I'm like,
I didn't think it was that bad. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think it was horrible, but it wasn't his best one. I liked his Hutch one way better than his Boss one. Yeah. So now this one, I want to get your guys' opinion. If you're thinking, I know in the 80s and 70s, most bikes came as frame and fork combos, but if you had to pick a frame and a fork, does it necessarily have to be paired together? What do you think is kind of going to fall in that rare category?
First off, you have to have the same forks, the same frame.
Not necessarily.
I know, but in reality, I would want that.
Really? Because I know that when Mongoose came out, nobody was going to keep those Tangy forks on there. Everybody
ran the TRX.
TRX, right.
Yeah, the Tangy TRX fork was the one that went. As a matter of fact, that's what's on my Super Goose right there.
Damn, you got some TRX forks back there? That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll show them to you. Let's see. They're right here on this red Mongoose. Let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, look at that. That's classic right there.
They're clean. I paid a pretty penny for these too. I can't remember how much I paid for these, but I like the dropout and
those forks are amazing looking.
They're pretty sharp fork, and they went with the frame well. I think they went with the frame better than the regular Mongoose fork.
Right.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Did Mongoose even make a fork back then? No.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a Mongoose fork right there.
Yeah.
That's 10. Wait. Okay, that is a Mongoose fork.
You're thinking of this fork right here.
The one that's pinched on the bottom?
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that's on this DeCoster, this Roger DeCoster that I have.
Well, but when that frame came out, Mongoose did not make forks, correct?
I have no idea.
I don't think so, Kevin. I think you're right. I think because I saw a lot of people having Ashtabula. Is that how you say it?
Oh, yeah.
And then those types of Tangy forks that are pinched on the bottom. So those are the ones that I remember seeing first as kind of like a stock version of the bike.
Forks.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced Tongay, by the way.
Tongay.
I always say it wrong, man. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So what do you think, Kev, on like if you had to pick a frame? I don't care if it's frame and fork combo or frame and fork separately. What do you think?
I like the steep head too, but I like the steep. I don't like a big rake on my forks. I go JMC, man.
JMC all day, frame and fork.
Yeah, forks. Another insanely expensive item.
You know what I thought was cool? There was when I was growing up, man, in the early '80s when we were all riding. There was this kid down the street. His name was Mike Hidalgo, and Mike had like an '83 GT Pro with landing gear forks on it. It looked sick. I love the way that looked, man. Till this day, I think about it.
I think landing gear was a good replacement fork because when I did have my '88 Mad Dog, I choppered those forks out within 2 or 3 months, and I replaced them with some landing gear, which was really the only SC product I ever rode. I never rode any SC products.
Wow.
Dude,
I thought it looked
forks could be the best name ever came up with for a BMX part.
What's that?
Yeah.
Landing gear?
Best name ever for a BMX part. Landing gear fork.
It's funny how things kind of stick with you because I can picture that.
S&M Bikes made a 26-inch fork and called it the pounding beer fork instead of the landing gear.
That's funny. So what do you think on yours, Marty? Rare frame, rare fork. What are you thinking? You probably have some back there. You obviously have some back there. So what do you think?
Gosh. Man, I think frame and fork rare. Are we talking about rare that we're trying to find for sale, or what we liked?
Well, both. What do you think? That way.
I really liked. Other than if I'm gonna stay away from S&M for a second because there's a bike that we forgot to mention, but a friend of mine had a Kasten KEX, and not the one fork, not the Uniblade, but it was a regular fork. And I think it was like a 74.5. It was the fastest. It was a fast turning frame and fork. And I remember riding that thinking, I liked it as much, if not more than how my RevCore handled. However, those frame and forks were super expensive. And, they were few and far between. But I think it was a Kasten KEX. And I think, and I'm not sure if the fork had its own name or what, other than that Uniblade thing, but it was just a regular traditional fork. But that was a bitchin' setup.
Nice.
Those Uniblade forks they're expensive, dude.
Was there a certain kind of forks that you like that that stands out in your mind?
Pitchforks. S&M pitchforks that's everybody was riding pitchforks and slam bars. No matter what bike they were riding in the 90s, they were buying S&M pitchforks and slam bars to put on whatever bike they were riding. Most of those aluminum bikes, I think they would run a S&M pitchfork.
Yeah.
And slam bars with, until they started coming out with all them goofy those Hannah Brink or I don't know what all that weird, all the gimmicky shit, the Pro Forks, the Answer Pro Forks. I even had a pair of those. Those things were so lame.
Yeah, they sold tons of them though, man.
Well, you can thank Steve Veltman for that, man, because when he was, number one pro 92, 93, whenever that was, and he was running those Answer Pro Forks and kicking everybody's ass, they was doing it with Answer Pro Forks.
Yeah, we talked to him about that, remember, Kev?
Yeah, 93, right?
I think it was 93, yeah.
93, yeah. And I asked him, I go, so what did you do with the forks? Did you lock them out so they wouldn't move? And he said he had them as tight as he could make them so they would.
Yeah, they had these rubber elastomers, and you could go in and you could tighten them down. And I got pretty good at taking mine apart. And then those rubber elastomers, I just blew them apart because I was a jumper. I had no business up with them stupid forks, but it was a gimmick, and everybody thought they were cool, and they were trying to get this motocross look. And then full face helmets were starting to come out, and even some people were putting fenders. I was like, I don't know. I fell for some of those gimmicks.
Fenders, I don't remember that.
Yeah, you know what frame I think is super rare, and other than seeing them at bike shows, is that Hawk. That rare looking frame.
I like those Hawks, dude. I like them.
Yeah. I've only, when we were at Dirty Fest, I think I saw a couple of them out there.
There might have been a couple of them. That was
Yeah.
Moses Tillman was the Hawk rider. He puts on the BMX cruise. I went on that cruise last year.
Oh, did you really?
Insane Clown Posse. What the hell? The Insane Cruise Posse cruise, and yeah, Moses Tillman puts that on. But he was a Hawk rider.
That's
Fast,
crazy.
too.
Those things were strange looking, man, but they were popular. I remember a lot of kids had them, man.
They had the square bars again, dude. The square bar.
Yeah, it's a Hawk F20, I think it was.
I think.
Do you remember a frame in the early '90s called a bonsai?
Yeah, I remember that name.
Hell, the Cycle Pro.
Was it a Cycle Pro?
I think a Cycle Pro Bonsai, I believe. I thought.
I think a Bonsai was its own. I think it was aluminum. They were starting to come out with some weird shit. Iron Horse had a frame, and then Bonsai, and then Supercross had just came out with that weird rear end.
Which they still make those. You can still buy them. Yeah. So what about cranks? What do you guys think?
You're gonna laugh at me. I just bought these this is stupid, but I bought them for nostalgic reasons.
I see damn, it's in the box. Oh yeah, my favorite cranks of all time, dude. I love them.
These are my all-time favorite with the single pinch bolt.
Oh man, that's beautiful. Where'd you get that?
I bought them on Redline, and they came with this bottom bracket too.
Kev, we can put that on my PK Ripper I'm building right now. Let's just go to Marty.
Is that sealed or a ball bearing bottom bracket?
It's a sealed. It's a Repop Techmatic.
Okay.
You bought it directly through Redline? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's freaking $550.
Woo.
Damn.
The last time I bought a pair of Redline flight cranks, they were $120, dude.
I remember they were $149 when I bought my first set of Redline flights.
No, I'm talking like 6 years ago. I paid $120.
Oh yeah.
That sprocket that you have there, Marty, that came with it. That's my favorite one of all time, and they have it at. Yeah, I think it's Albie's online BMX shop. They have it, and it's $100 just for that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I want it, but damn.
Yeah, it was just kind of I don't know if it's a limited supply or not, but I was just looking on it came across one of my feeds. I don't know.
Maybe because it was a single pinch.
Oh, and then they give me all these different stickers that go with it.
So he got Redline flights. I think the Hutch, the original Hutch cranks, those come out with those are pretty rare, right? The ones that were made by Profile we were talking about, Kevin.
The Aero Speeds.
Yeah. Those are kind of hard to get, wouldn't you think?
They're expensive. Yeah. Hutch Aero Speeds. Yeah.
Oh, it's called an Aero Speed. Okay, thanks.
Right, Marty? Did I got that right? Aero Speed.
I believe so. I think so. I wasn't really into Hutch, or the cranks. But I remember them being super expensive. Hutch was high dollar, man. You were, we were. If you could afford Hutch,
we're 4 years apart, yet our tastes are so drastic.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that already? Totally. He's talking 90s Mad Dog and Holmes.
Yeah.
I'm talking 70s.
Hey, but that's what it's all about, man. What about the original profiles? I mean, if you had a set from like 1980, 81. Sure.
Yeah, they got the first gen, second gen. I never know how to tell those apart because the first 3-piece cranks I ever saw were Redlines, and so I bought them. Or I didn't buy them. Sorry, when I could afford them, that's what I put on my Skyway, which I couldn't even afford. I didn't even get Redline flights until it would have been 1986, 86 when I built my Skyway. When I started racing at Roseville.
Yeah. Is there any value to the because everybody ran these in the 70s and late 70s, early 80s, there were the aluminum Saginos, the anodized ones, the red, gold, blue. Are there any value to those at all?
I think those aluminum 3-piece cranks, kind of like what I have on this. Oh, these are Maxi Cross.
Same shit. Yeah. Same shit.
Yeah. So
they look great, though.
Yeah.
They're light as hell, right?
Yeah, but the problem with these is they always came loose because of the square I don't know if I could.
Square taper.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they you always had to carry a socket with you because they would always come loose, and so I don't know. I wasn't a big aluminum crank. I didn't like aluminum cranks. I'd rather run a chrome ollie one piece or a steel one piece.
Yeah, I know they were popular though. A lot of the I remember in my early days of going to BMX tracks and watching my cousins race, everybody had aluminum cranks on them.
Oh yeah.
Those Maxi Cross has threads on the inside, right, where the bolt goes in it, and if you didn't keep your cranks tight, the bolt would come out and it would strip out the threads of your crank arm.
It could, but yeah,
that was a problem with those for me.
All right, moving on to wheels. Let's move on to wheels, man. I can already tell you that I would love to have a set of spin wheels just because I want to own them. I've never had a pair of them. I don't know how functional they are, but I know in the 90s, I mean, the what do you call it, the firm, they were all running spins and they were going just as fast. So I don't know if they were good or bad, if they were a gimmick. I don't know how you guys feel about that. What do you want?
They were probably trying to sell wheels. I don't know that they were any faster than laced up wheels. You know, in the 90s, I always liked, in the 90s, I liked, my favorite are Reyes Super 7X, which I have a couple sets. But in the 80s, I loved Mongoose hard anodized Series 3 Pro Class hoops, which I think that was one of our questions, one of our trivia questions on our first episode.
Definitely.
Those were my, I love those wheels. Those are awesome hoops.
There's
and
like
we lace them with bullseye hubs or whatever.
You know, there's a lot of value on those for the.
I think they're pretty. I think they fetch a few $100, maybe $300 or $400 or $500 for a decent set.
Just the hoops or for the whole wheel?
I think. Well, if they're so. I think if you can get just the hoops, because you could buy just the hoops back then too, but a lot of times now you're going to find them if they were on a. I have a Mongoose California that's at my office that I bought. I bought the whole bike for $900, and it's super clean, and the rims are immaculate, but they're laced up to some SR hubs. So I'm going back and forth with tearing them down and then building them with a high-end hub, but I don't know which hub I want to do yet, or I might just leave them alone.
When I rode, I had a couple different sets of Pro Class wheels. And I think that one set came laced with Suzu hubs. One came laced with Sunshine hubs.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what Mongoose came out of the factory.
Are you sure they were Sunshine and not Sun Tour? There was probably either Sun Tour or SR. I think SR was a big component for Mongoose in the early 80s.
Sun Tour is SR, right?
No, I don't believe so. I think Sun Tour is Sun Tour and SR is SR.
Good question.
I may be wrong, but that's a great question.
Really, it's not the wheel that brings the value; it's the hub, I think, right? The hubs are.
So the hubs were. I was never a fan of the Hutch magnesium hubs. I thought those were super overrated. Bullseye hubs. You could set up bullseye hubs for $149.
Are they really? Is bullseye hubs really what? I mean, I know there's a lot of hype behind bullseye hubs. If you had bullseye hubs, your bike was considered super trick. So right. I mean, are they that much better? I've never owned them. I've always had standard hubs on my bike.
I'll be honest with you. The best spinning hubs I have are a pair of $35 Suzy sealed bearing hub. But the next best thing to a bullseye, if you were really wanting to, you didn't have to spend a lot of money, but they were a great hub, were Specialized BMX hubs in the late 80s. Yeah. Wow. Specialized made a great made a great hub.
I never considered bullseye hubs to be top level, dude.
No, the neighborhood I grew up did, but after kind of dealing with them, I don't think they're that great.
On a scale of 1 to 10 in 1986, I would put bullseye at like an 8 or 7.5.
Really?
I would put Sunlight as 10.
Sunlight. I think probably Philwood hubs were probably one of the better hubs back in the 80s.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
another one that's like high end, right?
Yeah,
Phil?
yeah,
9, 10. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Philwood was better because it was, in my opinion, it was a solid shell. It wasn't Bullseye was a pressed together shell.
True.
Mhm.
And they were always just a little loose because they had the little lock washers that you had to lock on and then tighten with your Allen bolt and then when you would tighten the wheel on, if you tightened it too tight, it would resist.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
there were
wow.
you just had to really know how to work on Bullseye hubs, I guess, if you wanted them to be as precision as you know
They made
as
cranks
Phil.
too, right? The bullseye cranks too.
Yeah,
Going
they
back,
made a two-piece crank.
I like them. They're pretty good.
those were good, Kev.
I like them. Bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them on. Usually, the younger kids' bikes were, running the Bullseye cranks. Once we went to three-piece. Once we went to flights. Oh well, that's all it was like I never messed with aluminum cranks, or I think the Bullseyes were aluminum cranks,
So the only advantage to the aluminum cranks is just the weight, right?
probably.
Yeah, and I don't think they ran bigger than one. Would they go bigger than 170s on those, or were there? I don't
180
think.
at least.
There's all kinds of different lengths, what was that? Well,
Is that?
Cook's cranks. Cook's they made an aluminum crank. They have like a 177 or just a bunch of weird different
Yeah.
lengths. And I was never a technical guy like that. I never, it was just like I ran 180s. I
Mhm.
ran a 4416 gear with 180s. At Boomtown, I ran a 40. There was a point in time where I was running a 4616 because it was mostly downhill, and I got
Right.
to where I could turn that gear a lot. So it was, I run about the equivalent of a 44 and a half 16 now because I'm running a 3914, which I think
Wow,
is like a 55.7
that's on your
on the
race bike.
chart.
3914. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's kind of that's kind of odd, isn't it?
Well,
3914.
no, I had to run that gear because it's the disc brake, the way you set it up, and then for the chain clearance, I had to run a smaller sprocket.
I ran
What did you run?
4317. I never changed it.
4317.
Oh wow, okay. So what is that on the chart? Is that like a? So if you take the 43 divided by 17 and multiply it by the wheel size, that'll get you what the chart is, right?
I didn't even know that.
Oh.
No
Yeah.
wonder you can build bikes great, man. I mean,
I never even
It's just
thought about it.
It's just the gear ratio. Yeah, you take
Yeah.
the size of the sprocket, divide it divide it by the tooth from the rear sprocket, and then whatever the number that is, multiply it by the size of the wheel. And that's so like if you're running a 1739 on a cruiser, you can kind of try to get the same ratio.
Oh, got it.
And I swear I'm not a technical guy, but
What number are you looking for?
so when I was building my bike, I wanted the closest I could get to a 4416. And so running a 3914 gave me, and that gear ratio I think is a 50. I forget. I'd have to look. I don't have a calculator, but I think the gear it's like a 56 or something like that, or 50 or not or 50.
Why not just run a 4416 if that's what you want?
I mean, that's all I used to run. 4416.
Because my sprocket. See the clearance? Am I putting this? See the clearance on my sprocket? If I go any bigger, it's going to hit the frame.
Okay, all right.
So I had to run. I don't know if I'm showing you this or not all the way. A 14 in the rear, and then a 39 up front.
Okay,
It's
I got
weird
it.
to
And
see.
that's a 55.7 is what it comes out to on the chart. So I wish I had a calculator handy, but I don't. So yeah, if you took a 44, divide it by 16, multiply it by 20, that's going to get you. I think that's like a 55 something. I check this out. Hold on, we'll look it up on my handy dandy, my 1993 S&M Challenger. Let's look at it. There's a gear chart right here on the frame. So, what was yours, Kevin? Oh, you ran a 17.
4317.
Okay, that's not on this chart. So if I go, a 16 tooth or a 15 tooth freewheel, if I ran So a 44-16. Am I showing you this right? 16 to 44. That gives me a 55. And so my gear, I'm running a 55.7. So I'm between a 44-16 and a 45-16.
So it's not that much.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. S&M did this on their race bike. They put this decal on here. So like if you ran a 47-15, you're pushing a 62. That's such a tall gear.
I don't think I can spin that, dude.
Yeah, nah. So
what about we were talking about wheels. We got off topic, but the original graphite tough wheels with campy hubs, that has to fetch a really great, a lot, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the value of that would be. Do you have any idea, Kevin, if you were to run across something like that?
No, I would defer. I would call you if I ran across like a pair of campy tough wheels. I would know.
I think Ronnie was telling me that Rich has a pair of his, and they might be. I bet you those things would go for $2,500, maybe more.
I know he was selling them at one point.
Yeah,
Richie was selling. I think it was a couple of years ago. He was selling like a 09 pants and some tough wheels, and
he had his whole bike on. He had his whole bike on Facebook.
Yeah. He had an Avalanche or something. Did he have an Avalanche frame that he sold for like $5,000?
Yeah, somebody was brokering it for him. I don't remember. It wasn't you, was it, Marty?
No.
Yeah, somebody was brokering Richie's bike.
Wow. All right, so we got away from wheels. Tires are so subjective, man, because most people go, "Well, I want comp 3s," but I mean, comp 2s are really high on my list.
Comp 2s are great.
Yeah, there was those guys that do the big bikes. I forgot the big bike something or other, their channel, and he said snake bellies just came back out.
Oh, yeah.
For the big bikes, and oh my gosh, man, they're expensive.
Yeah.
I think they're $200 for a set of snake bellies.
I don't think they're. I bought some for my mongoose, some repopped about 5 or 6 years ago that were. I don't think they were that much. Oh, I put them on that RRS. I think I paid maybe $120. They were repopped by Panaracer, I think.
Yeah. So comp 2, snake bellies. Anything else, Kevin? You think would be kind of a sought after tire?
Comp 4s. Do you guys remember comp 4s?
Yeah, we had a big conversation about that one.
They came in the box. They came in a little box, the comp 4s, and they were basically a comp 3 with little lines.
We did a whole hour and a half on comp 3s, dude.
Yeah, they were going back and forth. I can't remember who was on the show. They're like, "Man, there's comp 10s," and we're like, "What?"
It was Kent Lowry.
Oh yeah. They're all the freestyle. Yeah, all the freestyle, the pool tires and the comp pool and comp street and
And
I mean,
how many edges are on a comp 3? And it was like 34.
Oh, I remember you guys talking about that.
Yeah.
Who was on the show with you on that? Was there like 12 or something? 12. That was a question, huh?
Yeah.
On one of the knobbies.
Yeah. It was Kent Lowry and Rich.
Yeah.
And Rich.
That's funny.
I always, when I think of original tires, because I know that just a standard knobby tire was like the first motocross BMX tire I've ever seen. I don't know who made them. I just know they were massively copied before tires were getting a little bit more, tricked out. I mean, that's the first thing. I think you have some back there, Kevin, on the back on that bike you got back there.
I just bought these for $20, and they're basically a comp 3, and they're just a Chinese rubber tire.
No skin wall. I like it.
Yeah, all blacked out. What about pedals, guys?
Ooh.
I'm at Hutch. Oh, that's Kevin's favorite right there. Shimano DX.
Yeah, I love some DX. These are old. These are thrashed. But I got a set old. Yeah, I'm sitting here in front of my toolbox.
Yeah.
And then there's the GT made ones.
Yeah, not so much.
Which are basically the same thing. S&M made a bunch of them too.
I wonder if Shimano ever patented that, that look. You know what I mean? Because that's probably one of the most copied pedals ever.
That and the Suntour XC2s. There was you could go to like Kmart or even Rayleigh's and buy Team Cycle knockoff XC2s, Shimano DX, and it was, I mean, you'd be lucky if you could get around the track on it, but I mean,
Yeah.
and they had knockoff Oakley grips that were, the plastic was so hard that you would have calluses on your fingers. Oh,
I remember those at Gemco. They had all kinds of knockoff parts like that. But I had a pair of, I think they were called Welgo pedals, and they were like Shimano DX kind of knockoffs, and they would rattle, like, I mean, they could get all kinds of noise. So I knew they weren't really good, and that's when I switched over to the Suntour Bear Traps.
Yeah,
you know?
you actually do that too.
As far as the value for pedals, though, I know the Hutch pedals are probably super up there, and then Croupy,
RevCore. I won some RevCore pedals, and then I sold them to a collector because I never liked cage pedals, and I didn't, as much as they were worth. What I don't like about cage pedals, you drop the bike, ding, your pedals are freaking, your cages are done. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, but I just like Shimano pedals.
What about seat?
Skyway hot seat. I always like the Skyway hot seat, the little plastic one, because you could finally have a seat where you could do X-ups and your bars wouldn't hit the front of your Cashimax or whatever your long seat was on those, you know, even on the Skyway T extra long. Well, I ran a snake post, or I don't know, they call it a drain pipe or whatever on my Skyway because I was pretty tall, but when those Skyway hot seats came out, I love those things. I have like 5 or 6 of them. Those are pretty pricey too. Try to find a white one on eBay, and they're $300 or $400. It's stupid.
There you go. That's something. That's hot. Uni Turbo or Uni Standard, are those still sought after at all?
I never liked uni seats, but they were uncomfortable. Everybody drilled those out too. Remember all the little kids that their dads would drill them out? They'd look like a freaking block of Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder why you would have to do that. The seat already weighs next to nothing, and they drilled it out.
You'd be surprised what those dads did in the early '80s to try to save a couple ounces. Man, they were drilling crank arms, seats. I mean, just anything. Then I think Odyssey came out with some caliber brakes that were drilled out.
What Odyssey? What did what?
It came out with brakes that were like drilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some of those. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I got an error on my. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Something from Peacock popped up and blocked my whole screen. I couldn't see you guys for a second. All right, so is there anything on seat posts, man? What do you guys think? Can you see me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Seat posts. What's out there that's pretty hard to find right now?
Command post, I would think.
I didn't hear you.
Command post.
What was that, Kev?
Command post.
Did you say command post?
Yeah, SST.
Who makes that?
SST.
Command post.
I think the hard part about seat posts, if you're talking like 70s into up throughout to even maybe the mid 80s, is a lot of those companies just put a sticker on it. So you didn't know if it was legit or not. You could put a sticker on anything. Then they started stamping them. So you try to find something that's stamped, and I always liked the GT post back in, I'd run a GT post back in the day, or sometimes the Tioga, I guess it's called a drain pipe. Toughneck made, was it Toughneck or RevCore came out with a bitchin' seat post, and it was all knurled, where the seat, you had good knurling on the seat, and right where the I think probably RevCore might be one of the most expensive seat posts if you're looking around on them, if they're, for the collectors, especially those freestyle ones that look like a freaking flagpole or a flag post or whatever they called it.
Elf have a pretty expensive seat post?
Who?
Elf? Because I'm imagining something where it's almost two parts.
Elf had Elf had that weird. They came out with those blast bars, and then I think they had the double cross, the blast bars, and that seat post. I think they came out with a pretty trick bike. Maybe it was a 95, 96 before the whole aluminum thing really took off.
Is there any value to fluted aluminum seat posts if you found something that was NOS, like if it was brand new, it hadn't been used?
Maybe $150 or something.
Yeah, I think those things are so repopped. I'd almost rather just get a repopped one and put it on my bike, just so that most of those fluted, not necessarily the fluted ones. Well, the fluted ones and the ones that weren't fluted. Sometimes you put those in a race ink or an FMF, they're stuck in there because aluminum on aluminum.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I just know they bent easy. I know that.
Yeah,
I had a pair of fluted bars. You ever see those?
Oh yeah, I didn't, but I remember them. I remember fluted bars.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
They were the whole handlebar was fluted,
except for the crossbar. The crossbar wasn't fluted.
Wow, how did that work out when you were, put the stem on it? Was it flat on the bottom still, where the stem
I think
goes?
they were pinched. I think you could only use a gooseneck, right? Or maybe not. Remember the box bars that were pinched at the end, where
the Schwinn scrambled.
But bar. maybe those fluted bars weren't like that.
No, I got them
because they would have been aluminum. The fluted bars would have been aluminum.
Stem, double clamp.
Yeah.
So the last thing, guys, is just pad sets and number plates. Is there anything out there that's like almost? I would imagine that the original RO number plate with the lightning bolts. I imagine that one would be really hard to get. Do you think of anything, Kevin?
This Type 2 right here.
Yeah, the Type 2. That one is super rare right there.
I got an old 09 one that Ronnie Anderson hates, but that's all right.
I think they're all the same.
Yeah. So what'd you say? You said headsets and number plates.
Oh, pad sets and number plates.
Oh, pad sets. I thought you said a headset. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, pad sets, number plates. Is there something out there everybody wants to get their hands on?
If you're talking like maybe getting into some 90s stuff, tangent pad wraps were pretty cool. I had a red set. My buddy had some black ones. So those tangent pad wraps, I think, probably fetch a few bucks.
What if you got
remember the 09 pads that were kind of I don't want to say tufted, but almost like they had snaps, and they were almost like they looked like cords. It was almost like a cord. It was a weird looking design they came out with.
What about an original set of rad pads with the snaps on them still? Those have to be expensive.
It'd be cool, like if it had Diamondback on it, or
yeah. You get something like that. I have an old set of Mongoose NOS pads that are yellow that I traded to a guy up in Oregon for a set of old thrashed Patterson pads that were supposed to go on the Patterson that I gave to the Patterson before I'd met them, but I can't remember the guy's name. He was at their party too.
Anything with the brand name on it would make it work.
We went an hour and a half on just 2 topics.
And all I want to do was eBay.
We didn't even get to the eBay thing, man. I could still do it.
Can you give us 1 or 2?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just was going to bring something up really quick, guys, before I do that, because I thought it was funny. I did look at a few different YouTubers, like I said. There was one called Harvest BMX. They listed their top 5 BMX bikes. They said Hutch Trickstar was number 1. Redline RL22 was number 2. GT Pro Performer, Haro Master, and then the Diamondback Harry Larry Turbo. So it was interesting that Harvest BMX picked 4 freestyle bikes before they got to any race bike at all. So so you could see you were talking about that, Marty. We haven't even got into the freestyle bikes, and I think the freestyle bikes are massively sought after. And I think it's a big deal. I know it wasn't our thing, but
the Trickstar is definitely up there, dude. Yeah, that's a legitimate first pick.
Well, and really, when freestyle came out, what that did was it really, I think, blew past racing. You know what I mean? It's almost like because it made anybody could go ride a bike, you know, or not anybody, but you could go out and fart around and play on your bike, and you didn't have to be a fast racer. Whereas racing, you know, that's what I liked about racing. Racing was like, hey, it's either you win or you don't win. You know, I mean, anybody can go out and goof around and have fun and express themselves. So I could see how freestyle would definitely generate a lot more sales, and more desire, and definitely a more broad range of people wanting those bikes.
Yeah,
you know, because there was way more kids rode freestyle than raced BMX.
Oh yeah, because you didn't need a track. All you needed was cement.
Yep.
That's it, right.
And so, think about how thrashed those bikes got. They beat the hell out of those bikes. Way more than a race bike. Those freestyle guys beat the shit out of those things. So,
it's true.
You know, yeah.
Maybe that's why the value of them is so high, because finding one in good condition. I mean, Kevin got one under a house and got $1,000 for it, and that thing was just dog crap, right, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think the Haro Master was probably a top bike. CW had the California Freestyler when that came out, and everybody had their, you know, they had their freestyle bike that they had to, the race companies had to come up with something, you know, with something.
Hey, what did Mr. Patterson tell you about freestyle bikes, Kevin?
I asked, like, why, well, you guys ever made a freestyle bike? And he goes, freestyle is not BMX.
Yeah. It's really not. I mean, it's not. It's freestyle.
He was not smiling. He was dead man.
Yeah, he wasn't kidding around. So the YouTubers Radmatic, they're really big, obviously, and they were at the bike show and at the Hall of Fame induction at USA BMX in Tulsa. And I was kind of just thumbing through their video. Some of the bikes that they did take a moment to just, you know, look at. JMC Black Shadow, which I don't think we mentioned. Redline Squareback with a nickel finish.
Yeah.
Obviously Patterson. There was some Mongooses, Redlines. Something called RRS, and then there was a slew of suspension bikes that were in there as well. That I don't have a lot of knowledge of the suspension bikes. That's more Kevin.
Marty, RRS.
I have an RRS right behind me.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
He took the Dirty Fest, the red one.
Yeah.
Is that what that one was? That was an RRS? Yeah, okay.
Redlands Riverside Schwinn.
That's this one right here. I'm just going to hold it up. It's got the eccentric bottom bracket.
That's really nice, man.
That's how you adjust the chain. Yeah, this thing.
Did you change the crankset on that, Marty, from Dirty Fest?
Nope.
That was the one that was on there, huh?
Yeah, this bike I bought. The only thing I did to this bike was tear it apart and rebuild it, and I put a repopped seat post on it.
That's a great bike.
Yeah.
I love the seat on that thing. I know I've looked at that one before. I was like, I was admiring it at Dirty Fest too. I was like, damn, that's really cool looking.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes rode for Riverside Redlands Schwinn, bro.
Mike Miranda,
Kevin McNeil.
And those guys were right next to you at Dirty Fest. Whoever was representing them, I don't think.
Rich. I can't remember his last name. Escapes me right now.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think we should. I wish we could redo Dirty Fest, because I was like, man, we missed out on a lot.
Yeah, there's always next year. They'll keep that one going. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we had the last YouTuber I looked at was somebody called Antique Central, and they're a UK channel.
Okay.
And I like watching their stuff sometimes, because, you know, they're not all American. You know, there's other bikes in there that I wasn't even familiar with. He listed his top 20 bikes. So I'll just go backwards. I'll go from 20 to 1. You guys tell me what you think. He said the FMF is number 20, and that's Flying Machine Factory. Is that right, Kevin? I think you taught me that. You put that as number 20. Are you guys familiar with FMF at all? Or
I thought it was fast. I thought it was fast, motherfucker.
That's what I said, Kev, wasn't it? Wasn't it? And then you put the Patterson PR20 as number 19. And then JMC Andy Patterson, which is one of Kevin's favorite bikes. CW Phase 1, and that's the one with the lightning bolt on there. And then the Profile Champ Pro, I think you mentioned that one, Marty. So he put that one as number 16. He put the SE Quad Angle as 15. Hutch Pro Star, here's where it gets kind of strange. He has the Hutch Pro Star as 14, but he put the Hutch Judge as 13, so he considered the Hutch Judge better than the Pro Star, which I kind of agree because the Judge is one of my favorites. Torker is number 12. The Redline Carrera 2, number 11. So that's like a 83, I guess, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, the GT Performer with Skyway Tough Wheels as number 10. Now, here's the weird thing, Kevin. He said something that I know irks you. He goes, the GT Skyway Performer is what he called it. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? My daughter was laughing at me because I was watching the video and taking notes. And the only thing I can tell is that it's a GT Performer with Skyway Tough Wheels on it. So it's kind of like the Eddie Fiola GT Performer version. I guess that's what he meant by it. But that was weird. Number 9 was the Skyway TA. Number 8 is a Diamondback Harry Larry Turbo, which he put behind a Diamondback Viper, but that we haven't even got to that yet. So he put the Diamondback Harry Larry Turbo as number 8, and number 7 was something called a Falcon Pro, which is a UK-based bicycle. Never heard of a Falcon. Have you guys heard of Falcon at all?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, apparently it had no bearing on the U.S. market. That's what he said. Here's where he put. This is strange, dude. He put Diamondback Viper as number 5. I don't understand that.
I wonder if he's thinking of what was the Diamondback before the Silver. There was Diamondback had some kind of a pro frame.
Pro medium, and pro.
Yeah, because the Viper was just like a GT Interceptor or something. It was. Yeah.
That's why I'm like.
It even had a tab for a coaster brake, or not a coaster brake, but a chain guard.
Right. That's why I'm like, why is that number 5 on his top 20? But again, this is his list, so whatever. He has the Haro Freestyler as number 4, SE PK Ripper as number 3, and something called a DP Firebird. It's another UK brand bicycle. It was made by somebody named Dave Parks. He says that was huge in the UK. Never heard of it until today. And then he put the Raleigh Nightburner as number 1. Number 1 was the Raleigh Nightburner. I don't know, man. Those are his, and he said that they sold over 500,000 Raleigh Nightburners in the UK. So maybe maybe he based it on that. And that Raleigh Nightburner, guys, it looked like a Team Murray. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was the cost of it, and he just said that was the most popular bike. I don't know, but that was.
Did you know Huffy remade the Sledgehammer?
Yeah.
Remember on Napoleon Dynamite where he's like, "What's that? It's a sledgehammer."
Yeah.
They actually make a I guess a pretty decent trail bike now called the Sledgehammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dick Long is pushing that thing big time. Yeah, that thing's crazy.
One thing I learned recent watching that other podcast that I'm talking about that I don't want to name, Danny.
Yeah.
That the CW Phase 1 was not meant to be a production bike. It was meant for Interbike.
Yeah, they did it at Interbike, and it was so popular that they started to produce that.
Did you know that, Marty?
I remember the first time I ever saw one of those was I think it was broken. Those things just broke left and right. So I wasn't a big fan of the Phase 1.
I found that interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Me and Kevin won't mention this YouTuber because he didn't mention us as one of the go-to BMX channels. He didn't mention my channel or Kevin's channel, and I was like, "What the hell, man? We do content every week."
Well, I mean, I've subscribed to you. I subscribed to Dirty Knobs and Beer Budget.
Oh, man, I like your lineup.
Other than that, I'm not really subscribed to. I don't do a whole lot of this. You know what I mean? I look through it and thumb through it and and watch for a little while. And I still don't even think I've watched ours all the way through. Maybe once I think the first time I watched it, and I was like, man, do I sound like that? I hate my voice.
Yeah, I got over it a long time ago. But dude, did you realize that Dirty Knobs hasn't dropped an episode in a month.
Yeah, he was doing shorts on the Hall of Fame, and he only dropped one, right? Am I missing something?
No,
I don't know. I
was like, where the hell's the new? What happened to Dirty Knobs? I looked at it. It's been a month since he posted a video.
Yeah, I haven't watched any. Sometimes it'll just come up if there's a new thing, but I haven't followed hardly anything.
I think it's a scheduling issue with those guys because you know they're
you got to get all three of them, and JB's on the East Coast, and
and that's probably all it is. Well,
Mike. They're the only smart ones that don't recognize the stupid time zone change and on the West Coast. I wish California would go to that too. I think it's ridiculous.
We're about to go. We're going to go up an hour, right?
We lose an hour. So
this is
we fall back. You fall back, which is where I think it should be. I think we should fall back and leave it at that, because in the summertime, it's 9 o'clock and it's light outside. Well, if they didn't do that, it would be dark at 8 o'clock at least. But
right.
I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, right now it's like pitch black outside, and it's what time is it? 7:41. And in the next, I think we're going to switch the time.
Dark at 5.
Yeah, it's going to be dark at 5, and yeah, whatever. We're getting off topic. All right,
I'm sorry. Kevin's going to have a lot of editing to do.
I'll be there for 5 hours, dude.
Talking about the fucking time,
right.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's play against that price, man.
All this banter stays in. What takes me a long time is to drop in all the pictures of all the bikes and parts. That's what's going to be the pain in the ass.
Yeah, Kevin, look, that's a lot of stuff that we talked about. And, but anyway, I'm going to jump on eBay really quick, guys. This will be the last part of our stuff. We got let's go another 15 minutes or so. And we have, I'm going to go through some random BMX parts that are available on eBay. And I can see what they're at, what the buy now price is now, but I want to see if you guys can kind of give me a guesstimate of what you think it's going to cost. Okay. Sound good? All right. All right. Old school vintage BMX freestyler Redline RL20A comes complete. It's from 1986, comes complete with forks. So frame and fork set, 1986 RL20A. What do you think that's going for, Kevin? Or what is that?
Just a frame and forks?
Frame and fork.
We're talking buy it now.
Buy now.
1,500.
Ooh, not way over. What do you think, Marty?
On eBay, I was going to say $1,200 to $1,500.
Well, it says $502.
Oh,
wow!
So is that not a bid price with a reserve? Is there?
Oh, is that the bid price, guys? Because currently it's got 10 bids, which
that's a bid price. Is there a reserve?
Let's take a look. That's a good question. I am not the greatest with eBay, guys. I'm not.
If there are active bids on the item, it cannot have a buy it now price.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so
but there could be a reserve price, but also, how many bids are there and how long has it been up for auction? That'll let you know if
There are currently 10 bids on it. Wow. And there's only an hour and 22 minutes. It's then
it's at the tail end.
Yeah, it's at 5:02. So your guys' thought process on this bike is it's probably worth somewhere close to 1,500.
Yeah, if there's
because when people do the buy now price, they always pad it and then they come down when people make an offer. So in other words, if you were selling that and I say I was selling it and I asked for 1,500.
Right.
So you have the ability as the buyer or bidder to reach out to me and say, will you take 1,300 for it or take 1,100 for it? And then I can say yes, accept it, and it's done.
You can make an offer.
Yeah, because I used to sell on eBay.
Only if there's no bids.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, so that's why I came up with 1,500 as the buy it now price.
Okay, because when I sold magazines on eBay, I would just put a base price, and then people would just start doing bidding wars on it, and then
that red line might within the last minute it'll start climbing. People will start fighting each other back and forth and refreshing and raising their bid and
yeah. Everything will happen in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find something else. This says an old school vintage BMX box bar, so handlebars, and double stem. So he's selling the double stem and the bars. It's off a 79 Matthews build. Yeah, I don't. Now, again, I see the current bid. So what do you think that's worth? That's your bike back there, right, Kev?
That's a 74 Matthews. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's what it looks like. I'll let you guys see it. And the current bid at it is at 125.
Mm.
Buy it now is 162.50.
That seems about right.
That's about right. So is it because it's too old, Kevin, or is it just not? It's maybe not. That's not the question. Is it just not popular enough? Is that why the price isn't driving up on it?
They probably made about 1 billion of them, and they sold the bikes in J.C. Penney. So there's probably hundreds of them out there.
All right, here comes the next one. So we have what year is this? He just calls it a vintage Mongoose Moto Mag frame.
It's probably anywhere from a 78 to an 80.
Don't say the price. Don't give me the price. I want it. Does it have a buy now price or a bid?
It has a current bid on it, and the frame itself is rough. It's not pristine, but it doesn't have any cracks on it.
What color is it? Is it nickel?
It's blue.
I'm going to say it's probably worth $350.
It even has the Mongoose Moto Mag sticker on the down tube.
I wonder if it's one that's been refurbished. If it's refurbished, somebody's going to try to get $500 or $600 for it. If it's original, I bet you it's like $230.
Yeah, the guy didn't put a lot for his description. He put Mongoose BMX frame. Please refer to pictures for information. That's it. So he doesn't know what he has, I don't think.
It's trash. Is that what you said? It's a trash frame.
It needs restoration, but the frame is clean.
300, 350. Was my guess.
I was thinking if it was original, it's about 250 to, maybe 275.
Current bid price on it is $250.
Yeah.
You guys aren't that far off, though.
Yeah.
Marty's much more.
Those Mongoose, those are so mass produced that it's like, I mean, they're cool to have. What's cool about those Moto Mags, if you wanted to take one of those, you could build a retro racer, just go out and thrash the hell out of it, not have to worry about,
the value of it.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you value a good pair of Moto Mags at, Marty?
The Mongoose Moto Mags?
Yeah, a pair, just the wheels. A good pair of Moto Mags, not broken, not cracked. What do you value them at?
Oh, I would say $400.
Oh wow.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, are they way off? But that's what I would value out. That's it's so hit or miss because I think you can buy a brand new set of repop ones for $300 or so. Their new ones are nice. I'd almost rather have a set of the brand new repopped than the old ones just because they spin better.
See, I would put a good set of Moto Mags at $600.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. This one right here is interesting. So it's a 1981 PK Ripper SR Sun Tour Aurea Sunshine Parts show-worthy bicycles, what he says. So the description says it's a 1981 PK Ripper it's built show-worthy condition. The pictures say it all, but everything is polished out and beautiful. The following parts are original to build as I got it. The bars, stem, cranks, wheels, and brakes. His description's not that clean, but this one's a little pricey.
This is somebody that's not into BMX that's trying to sell a bike. You can tell by the description, because if he knew what he was talking about, he would have listed everything in detail. So he wants probably $2,700.
Oh, I'm saying that's low. I bet he's at $4,000 for it.
You think so?
And this is just the current bid. There's no buy it now on it. You guys ready? Let me pull up the bike so you can see it better. Whoop.
So
$2,200.
That's the current bid for the bid for auction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were pretty on it, Marty, when you said that $2,700.
Yeah.
So you think it can get up to $4,000, Kev?
Well, you didn't tell me what kind of parts it had on it, though.
He doesn't list the parts, man, and those tires do not look correct. They're like blue.
Yeah, this is somebody that's got a PK Ripper that's trying to doll it up and think that he's going to sell this. He'd have to buy it to somebody as dumb as he is. You know what I mean? Nobody that knows what they're looking at, or nobody that knows anything about BMX is going to give them that money for that bike. So
yeah. I agree. I didn't see the. Well, look, he has regular cantilever brakes on it, right?
No, those are looks like MX 1000s or something. I can't. Maybe or they got a quick release, don't they?
Yeah, it has a quick release on it. It's
They look like they're Nippon.
definitely they're Diacomp MX 1000s, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I can
I'm
tell.
way off, man.
Yeah, but still, he wants 2,200. But that brings up kind of a topic there, Marty, because you said he's dolling it up.
Yeah.
So you're thinking the bike's not worth what he's going after?
Not at all. Not at all. That bike, I wouldn't. If that bike was sitting in front of me, I wouldn't give him $1,000 for that thing.
Yeah, and he's got one bid. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
That's probably him bidding.
That's eBay though. But again, then you might have somebody that like one of our wives are out and they're, I'm going to surprise my husband with this thing and get totally took. And you're like, shit, babe, don't go buy me a bike. I'll buy it myself.
Sorry, but let's put this in perspective.
Yeah.
An 81 PK Ripper with landing gear forks, air correct. It's worth those worth easily over $1,000.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
That's what I think I mentioned that earlier. The frame, people will put a bunch of stuff on a frame and fork when the only thing that has value is the frame and fork. So they're trying to put a bunch of stuff on it, make you think you're getting an old vintage PK Ripper when the reality is, he could take that frame and fork and put it on a raffle and sell 100 spots at $20 a spot and get $2,000 for it.
just for the frame and fork?
Probably, yeah. Profile Champ, I bought 6 spots at $25 a spot. So I was into it for $150, and it was I think it was 20 spots available. So I mean, you do the math on that. Guy got $2,500 for that profile that I won. That cost me $150 for 6 spots.
That's pretty cool. I never thought of selling stuff like that. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a place it's called BMX Bro or raffles. They call it a waffle, not a raffle, but waffle is so yeah.
All right, this one's interesting. You guys want to do another one?
Yeah.
All right, 1979 Webco frame.
Oh.
How do you say it again? Tongi forks, vintage old school BMX. Here's your description. This 1979 to 1980, so I guess he's not too sure about the year. Webco frame with Tongi TX 1200 Champion forks. They both have the original paint and decals. This may be a curb jumper model based on the color and top tube location of the Webco sticker. I can't confirm it, but I'm including a reproduction curb jumper decal with it. The frame is in great shape with usual wear on decals, chips and scratches in the paint, and it says all dropouts are in great shape. The forks do have a lot of scratches, but are rare gold color. Still looks good, no major damage, cracks, dents, super nice survivor that I'm parting out. So check out my auction. What do you guys think it's going for?
Just the frame and fork or the whole bike?
Just the frame and fork. It has the little headset on there too.
$500.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say $500 to $700.
Woo! $945.
Oh wow.
That's the asking price, or that's what the bid is?
That looks like the current bid. See it right there? There's no buy. I don't see a buy it now.
Wow.
Man, maybe I should start. Maybe I do something different than this.
Well, you got to think too. eBay too is so overpriced. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, we could try using. We'll do Craigslist next time. Maybe we'll do a little bit of Facebook Marketplace. I could do some of that too. Yeah. But eBay is a little bit different because people are bidding on it. Let me find one more for us. All right, let's see. I'm trying to find the more rare stuff on here for you guys to look at. A lot of stuff is not really that bad as far as if you're trying to grab parts off here. Some of them aren't too bad.
Yeah, I think I think eBay's been ran through the ringer so much now that it's hard finding rare, really super rare shit on there.
Okay, here's a good one. All right, so this is a old school vintage 20-inch BMX racing Super Goose mongoose frame fork. So it's a frame and fork combo. It says you're viewing an old school vintage 20-inch team racing mongoose Super Goose OG. Very good condition, super strong. It says used with a few cosmetic marks, perfect for restoration or custom projects. Chrome moly high gloss finish, an early '81 mongoose team racing competition. What do you guys think?
Well, then Marty has one.
I have one, but I think that is it a mongoose or a super goose?
It says Super Goose, and there are no forks. He said forks, but it just looks like
just the frame only. He probably wants $700 or $800 for it.
All right. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, it's a team. If it's a team, it's worth more. I'm gonna go with 700.
Yeah.
You guys both of you are not that off. $588.
Oh, okay. Might have to look that one up.
Yeah, the teams are a lot harder to get, right? They're harder to get than the normal ones.
So what's that?
You know what? Yeah. You know what, Kevin? Maybe you can explain this to me. It says 580. It says 588 or best offer. So is that basically it's buy it now?
You can make an offer to him. You could type in your offer and send it to him, and he'll review it. The thing is, I think if you type in an offer, you have to commit to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but
I'll give you 500. You go, boom, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, would 588 be a good deal on that? I'm thinking for that Super Goose, just the frame. There's no forks.
If you're in the market, I guess.
I mean, if you're looking for that, but
you're not going to make money by reselling it for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I have one it's an 81 it's super clean. I'll have to bring my other frames down. They're at my office right now.
I found a good one, guys. We were just having this conversation. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, Marty. I just got excited.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Here we go. This one we were just talking about. Okay, vintage Skyway graphite 20-inch mag, Campy hubs, old school BMX, and it says here description. These wheels are in good condition. I bought these when I was in my early teens. I'm now 55 years old. They were top of the line back then. Wasn't going to let them go, but nevertheless, but I'm never going to use them again. They were in storage since 1988 and have not been used since. Ooh, high ticket item. What do you think, Kev?
1,000.
Okay, 1,000.
I'm going to say 3,500.
This guy wants, are you ready? $1,800 or offer for these.
I thought it was going to be like, they've been sitting around so that's his asking price, $1,800.
Yeah, or best offer.
Oh shit! I doubled that.
So, man, I'm gonna get a new.
I was waiting for him to say previously owned by Rich Anderson, autographed.
He's the original owners of the wheel. It still has the look at it. It still has the writing on the inside of the wheel.
That might be a good collector's item if you're in the market for that. That's a steep price, but if somebody wanted those bad enough, I think
they look pretty clean. I mean, for $1,800 though, I would just get the anniversary edition ones and call it a wrap.
I mean,
yeah.
The problem with that is you buy those and you don't even want to do anything with them because you hang them up on your wall, I guess. So they're just a piece of art at that point.
I don't think I'd put them on any bike. I definitely would be afraid to do it. All right. Well, I guess that's all I got for now, guys. Next time, Kevin, I'll do I'll try the other marketplace and some Craigslist stuff if I can find anything. But eBay seemed pretty easy.
Can I close out the show with my eBay horror story? Do you mind?
100%.
I'll make it fast. So
I can take a break. I can take a break. Go ahead.
Okay. So maybe 6 years ago, I ran a crew about 3 or 4 high school kids that used to go out and buy bikes for me when I was out of town. and they used to bring the bikes back to my garage. When I came home from driving, we used to take them all apart and put all the parts on eBay and Craigslist and all these different places for sale. Well, I had a huge eBay account at the time, and at any given time, I probably had 100 to 150 different types of parts on eBay for sale.
Nice.
And this one time, I was like drunk browsing on eBay, and I bought a. No, I'm gonna get the years wrong, but I bought a '79 nickel-plated mongoose that was trashed. I bought it for $300. I think it was $300 with Tangi forks and or Tongay forks. Well, anyways, it showed that the frame shows up a couple days later. I take it to my powder coater. I get it powder coated, but when it got powder coated, you couldn't see two of the first numbers on the serial number. But I knew it was a mongoose. It was a legit mongoose. I put it on eBay for sale for I think I sold it for $600 after I had a powder coat. I got new stickers, put it on for $600. It's sold.
Okay.
I shipped the frame and fork off to the buyer. And then like 2 days later, I get a dispute back from eBay saying the buyer wants his money back for fraudulent activity. I'm like, what the hell? And in my description, I put 78 or 79 Mongoose Motomag frame for sale. And he claimed that it was a fake frame. I go, why would you say it's a fake frame? So we got back and forth over like 2 or 3 days because the bidder, he said my neighbor is a bicycle collector, and that serial number doesn't come up to any of the legitimate mongoose websites. And so what happened was when it got powder coated, you couldn't see to the first two letters, the first two numbers of the serial number. So I'm all, dude, it's like anybody with any brains knows that that's a legit mongoose, dude. I may have had the year. I was a year off on the thing, but we went back and forth, and eBay froze my account.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
So I probably had $3,000 I had $3,000 in my PayPal account, and I couldn't get it to it. And people were buying my stuff, and I can't stop the auctions because the auctions are going. And every time they pay for something, it goes into my PayPal account that's frozen. So finally, I go, how am I going to prove this is a real frame? So I went back through my previous purchases, and I found the original auction that I bought it from. And in that auction, there was a picture of the serial number before I had it powder coated. And then I sent him that information, and he finally released the complaint on eBay. And that's when I learned that eBay does not care about the seller at all.
Wow.
You can buy something on eBay and just change your mind and say, you know what, I don't want it no more. And then the seller has to give you your money back, or they'll freeze their PayPal account.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got hot on eBay, man. It was about I think I told you, Kevin, around 2014. I started selling all my BMX magazines, and I sold a lot of like number plates and seats and just all stuff that just kind of random had laying around. Man, it was flying off my shelf, man. I think eBay makes you wait. When I first started out, it would make you wait like 10 days to get your money. And because I was selling so fast, then it was immediately dropping into my PayPal.
Yeah.
I was shipping like every day. And it was hot, but all of a sudden it just kind of dried up.
Yeah. To this day, I can no longer sell stuff on eBay. I can buy stuff on eBay, but they won't let me sell anything.
No way.
Mm-mm. And I had 99.9% positive feedback, and they shut me down.
Wow. Hey,
but
Marty.
No problem. I can buy stuff if I wanted to. But anyways.
Do you find anything on eBay now, Marty? Are you still shopping on eBay?
I look around, but I haven't bought anything off eBay in a long time. Josh. Yeah, I think the last thing I bought were these tough wheels. These are a weird tough wheel that I got too, that I couldn't find. I couldn't find bolts for them, and then finally I found some bolts. But these are a trippy tough wheel because they're a gold, but they didn't have bolts. I took these bolts off of an old set of profile hubs.
Well,
these are Yeah, they're graphites, but they're like a 2002. They're a repopped tough wheel, but I overpaid for these. I think I paid $450 for these tough wheels.
Oh man, they go.
Danny, the first time I talked to you and you came on the show, didn't you tell me that you scored a pair of tough wheels off some kid on the street?
Who, me?
Oh, the story is this. I'm like 20.
It's just some kid, right? You give him like $20 for a pair of graphites.
Man, no, what happened, Kev, you're close, but what happened, I was probably like my early 20s, and I was out and about, with my girlfriend at the time, and this kid was sitting on I think it was a Diamondback, but it had graphite tuck wheels on it. And I go, holy shit, I got out of my car, and she goes, where are you going? I go, I got to talk to this kid. And I go, hey, man, you got some graphites there? And he goes, oh, yeah, I guess. He didn't know what he had. I go, I'll give you $40 for those. And he goes, that's what I had on me. And he goes, no. I said, I'll give you $30 for those. That's what I had on me, Kevin. And he goes, 40. And I go, dude, I got $30. He goes, 40. And I go, man, he goes, there's an ATM inside that liquor store. And I'm like, never mind. And I left him there, dude.
Oh, you didn't get them.
I didn't buy them. I'm still mad at myself to this day. I'm like, over $10. I didn't buy those original Skyway graphite tough wheels, dude.
Oh wow, dude, that's a good story.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you're being a cheap ass. That's what happened.
I can't cut it out because Marty's going all over the place.
I apologize. Well, I wanted to get this before we left. So this is my most recent purchase. I forget who the guy was down there that was the son of Powerlight. Mm-hmm. But I was showing him this bike, and I told him, I go, this guy has this bike, and he wants $2,000 for it, and he goes, you better go buy it. So I bought it. It's a 26-inch Powerlight 3-bar cruiser, or 26-inch.
Wow.
And I forgot.
Mark told you to go buy it.
Yeah, he says, I showed him this bike, and he goes, I go, the guy wants, I got this and that yellow Roger DeCoster for $2,000.
Wow.
So those are the kind of, you know what I mean? So I got to sit back down and get this light out. Sorry, I'm reflecting the light, but
I'm getting busy.
At any rate. So deals are out there, but those eBay deals, I think that this Powerlight I could probably put that on the auction for with a reserve of maybe $3,500. That's what that guy, what was his name? Mark. The Powerlight, Mark, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna do that. Hey Danny, I'm gonna ask the question again, and you're gonna answer it again, so I can cut it out into a reel. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. All right, hey, Danny, dude, the first time you came on the show, didn't you tell me that you found a kid that had some Skyway tough wheels and you bought them from him and you took advantage of him?
Okay, here's the actual story. So I'm out with my girlfriend at the time. It's early 90s, probably 93 or whatever. And we're pulling up to the store, and I see this kid. And I want to say it's a Diamondback, Kevin. I can't remember. But it had graphites on it. And I jump out of the car. She goes, where are you going? I go, I got to talk to this kid. So I run over to him. I go, hey, man, you got some Skyway graphites on there, And he was like, okay. He didn't get too excited by it. I go, I'll give you $30 for those. That's what I had on me. And he goes, $30? I go, yeah. He goes, give me $40. And I go, look, dude, I got $30. And he goes, there is an ATM right inside that liquor store. And I'm like, $30. He goes, nope. And I let him walk, dude. For a matter of $10, I let the original Skyway graphites go, man. And that's me being a cheap ass. So yeah, my bad.
Over $10, dude. Damn.
Over $10, yeah.
I would have asked my girl, give me $10.
I don't know.
Was it the fact that you didn't want to go get the $10? It wasn't. You were too lazy to go to the ATM, or you just didn't want to pay another $10?
It was probably a little bit of both. I'm like, oh man, I got to get $20 out of there. That's not a B of A machine. They're going to charge me money to get my money out, and then I have to break that 20 in the liquor store. I was thinking of all these obstacles. Yeah. And he even said, I got a wrench in my pocket, and I was like, I took them right off right there, dude. And I didn't buy them. And if I had them, dude, if I would have bought those, I probably would have just had them sitting on this bike right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't believe I didn't do that.
What a loss, man.
Yeah, man. I let that one go, dude. And then that'll be another topic for us later, man. Things that we probably should have bought.
That'd be a good one. And yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I think we should probably wrap it up for the day. Hey, Marty, I appreciate you. Well,
Thank you.
Coming back on, bro.
Thanks for having me on. I know I babble a lot, but thank you.
No. That was good. Great. And we're going to work out the kinks in this plan, dude, for appraisals because I'm way off, dude.
Well, again, it boils down to something's only worth what someone's willing to pay for it.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
All right, Marty, go have some dinner, bro. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you.
Good night, gentlemen. Thank you.
See you next time. All right, man. Good show.
Oh man, good show. I feel like an idiot, dude. I was so far off, man. Like,
hey, that was your idea. You wanted to do it.
I know, man. I feel like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber when he goes Samsonite. I was way off.
Yeah, that's all right though. But you know that's Marty nailed it. It's worth whatever people are willing to pay. And eBay, you know, people are bidding, so the prices can be up and down. So I'll have to look at a different platform next time.
Whew, okay, man. Plug your stuff, man. Go for it.
All right, man. You can find me on Danny Pena BMX Racing on YouTube, BMX Magazine reviews, BMX video reviews, all BMX content all the time. Please like and subscribe. That's
You're
it.
Up to 943, I think.
941, I think. Yeah, but I lost one. I was at 941 yesterday, and it went back down to 940, and then today I went back to 941. So I'm like, oh man, I'm so close to the 1,000 that I could see it.
Our channel here is at 1124, 25.
Do you remember, Kevin? I was going to ask you. Do you remember before you and I partnered up what we were sitting at? Can you remember? Yeah.
I was at 450. You were at like 445.
Dang, we've gained a lot of ground since then.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was a 5 subscriber difference either way. I don't remember who had what, but it was very, very close. But we're getting like 2 or 3 a day, and but the most important part, no one has unsubscribed in like 3 weeks, man. So
that is like the scariest thing, man. When you see the number go down, you're like, no. Oh, I was going to tell you, man. I do a lot of I clip a lot of your shorts, which you obviously know. And there was one I saw when we had Rick on there. That thing got like 12,000 views on Facebook, dude. I was like, holy smokes!
And I misspelled BMXPERTS.
Is that the one? Is that the one where you misspelled it? Yeah, I thought, God dang, because you get better views on Facebook than I do. You have a lot more followers than I do. Mine are starting to ink up now, but I noticed, I go, dang, man, they watched that dang near 13,000 times, that one clip, and that's not even, in my opinion, one of our best ones. We have some great ones, I just reached, I went over 10,000. I don't like saying followers, but 10,000 followers on Facebook. Man, that's massive. That's massive.
I think you have like 26 or something like that, 25?
Yeah. My Facebook is not that great, but I mean, it's fine. It's growing. I accept it. My main focus is YouTube anyway. And my TikToks are growing thanks to you, because I've been using, instead of dropping shorts from my channel, I've been using our shorts, and it's upticking. So it's pretty cool. And then you gave me an idea too, dude. I went back through some of my old videos, and I screen recorded just a small portion of it and made a short out of it, and those did really well. And I go, dang, that's a good idea. Kevin's been telling me to do that for like a year.
Long time.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, I think we're going to wrap it up for the night. Thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to support this channel or Danny's channel, or this is our channel. I started it, but Danny's definitely part of it. If you'd like to support this channel, please go to BMXPodcast.com, and you can grab a shirt or hat or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to ask the first time, if you would like to sponsor the podcast, if you would like for us to talk about your product, reach out to Danny, because Danny's the more reliable one.
Yeah, man, I'm on. You can find me on Facebook pretty easy, Danny Pena.
Either one of us, if you'd like to sponsor the If you like to watch the podcast, we are now looking for sponsors. That'd be great. And subscribe to this channel. And until next week, the track is closed. Peace out.